Okay, everyone, welcome back. I have a positive, good story to tell you about this particular toy. And as always before, I get into it. If you're new to the channel, if you've recently subscribed, thank you. And if you haven't, take a second to subscribe. Would appreciate it. It helps all the algorithms and it helps all the other collectors the more we get this type of content out there. And also share the video if you're on any other site that features toys, whether it's Facebook or Twitter or whatever. If you have a place that is digging these old toys, just go ahead and share a link to the video. That would help also. Anyway, this is your Cragstan Spaceman, battery operated and remote control. It's distributed by Cragstan, and it is one of the nicest boxes Cragstan ever made. Has a very cool lettering up here, as you could see. I'll try to get it closer. Almost looks like a movie premiere. I'll get it back there later, but here is the Cragstan logo. That was Craig and Stan were the two guys that combined their name to distribute. And I ran into once a nephew of an uncle that was a Cragstan salesman, and I picked up a boatload of rare one-off and sample toys. That was a major coup. It was a wonderful moment. And in that pile was a Silver Robbie, the original Silver Robbie robot. So anyway, that is the box. I'm going to kind of go back to this lettering. It's a little too tall for me to show you it from there. But then if we go to the side panel here, actually, you can see the lettering here. I like that shading they did, or shadowing effect, on just the S and the M. Now, that's S and M. I hope there wasn't a reason for that. But anyway, you can see the nice light beams here, colorful. They start out white, yellow, and then they go to blue. Really nice stars. Very nice depiction of the astronaut there. The style of it, very comic style. And here's your end panel. So they went all out with this. You got, again, a bunch of nice blue stars there. And by the way, this is number 30,512. That is a lot of toys, man. And also you have the subtle TN Nomura logo there. So again, this was a Cragstan distributed toy. I'm glad they didn't put the Cragstan in these light beams here. Anyway, so before I get into the operation of the toy, which is obviously very simple, what happened is I bought this toy, and the auction house actually thought this box was a reproduction because it was so pristine. I mean, this thing is square as a brick, and every crease, there's a couple little minor, like a little minor scratch there, but man, this thing is just really, really minty. Then I got a little bit of flaking over there, just nothing major. And so I said to myself, when I make this video, and by the way, here's the inside, I said, let me go over, because I'm sure most of you know, but in case you don't, how would you be able to tell a reproduction box from an original? And let me tell you, when I got this, I was thrilled to death. And I was like, oh man, I'm so glad they advertised it as a reproduction. And it was original, because it was probably one of the nicest original boxes I have now. Again, it's just almost like pristine, brand new condition. So one of the ways you could tell the Japanese, and I think the most important way, let me see if I can get this on camera. You see these, that's not going to work, but okay, right here, you got this, like, it almost looks like an extra piece of cardboard that they glue on the edges. And mostly all the Japanese boxes have them. Let me see if I can get up top. It's kind of hard. You might be able to see from the... No, it's a tough angle to get. But anyway, inside here, if you're not familiar with it, I'm sure most of you are. And you can see it on the end there, but it's also on the side. This extra little strip, and I don't know if that's part of the process when they make it, is on the original boxes. And the reproduction boxes don't have that. The only person I knew that ever did that was Hank Gosse's. Made a box for me of a lantern robot, and he took the time to really cut these thin strips out and glue them in as if it was an original box. Anyway, that's one thing to look for. Also, like if you have copies of artwork, one of the ways, when I had at least, laser copies, you would take like a chipboard and you would take the artwork, you cut it, you trim it, and I used to use spray adhesive like Super 77. you glue it onto the chipboard, but then the edges here will be white of where you cut the cardboard and the paper. So you would see the white edge over here, where on original box you don't have that. Now, the thing is, when I wanted to get really detail, I would just take a marker and go over all the white edge to just for my own sake. I just liked it to look as authentic as possible. And on the flip side, though, if you see that there's a white edge, it usually means that it was glued over. Also, when you do laser copies, it's almost impossible to get because what they'll do is now if you don't take the box apart, you'll get the picture of the staples on there, which obviously are fake, and you can tell. If you take the box apart, which most people really wouldn't, but sometimes small boxes, they're kind of loose. You get the staples. You can put it on your scanner flat, and you won't have the staples, but you'll have the holes there. And so even the holes will come up on the scanner, and then unless you perfectly put the staples back in to the holes, that's usually another way that you can tell. And it's literally simply smells old too. So I think the auctioneer thought this might have been, something that was restored because it was in such amazing condition. So if you look at a box they made from Toy Tent, and they stamp all their boxes, so then it's not like they're trying to hide anything. They print them. They print them right on the chipboard, so it would just look like really, really new. And in that case, you just you lose a little bit a level of detail unless you have really, really great scans. So that's kind of like your little lesson on how you can tell if a box is a reproduction, a couple of ways. Anyway, so as far as the toy, this is a really nice spaceman. Great lithography here. He's got two kinds of wrenches on here, his tool belt. I think he's going to go do some plumbing action. He's got his laces on his boots. His oxygen tanks here have some really cool lithography back there, if you could see. I've made a lot of videos today. I don't know when I'm going to post them. Also, I'm kind of running out of steam. I'm becoming low energy. Who was that guy? A low energy Jeb. That was his name. And here's his gun. His gun has a very cool, you may not have noticed this, but a Saturn on the stock, which is awesome. And then he's got a really cool face. Very serious face. And the other thing about this toy, when I got it, the lights didn't light up. And you wonder, oh man, this thing looks so clean. What was it, were the lights burned out? And no, they were just loose, literally loose. And I tightened them a little bit, and they're the original bulbs. I don't know if this comes out on camera, but they got the little dimple there. These are the same bulbs they use for eyes. So I was really happy that those were in good shape. And look at this, just a very shiny condition. The box is pristine, the toy is pristine. And even the antenna, usually you pull these up and they fall down. This one still has resistance to stay up. The only thing I'd say that to be careful is like always is the case with these toys now that they're 60 plus years old, the wires are a little brittle here, so you just got to be very careful so that you don't split them or crack them. And then this does have the cool lithographed battery box. And I think that's about it for the toy. Let me go back one more time, see if there's any markings on here. You can see the antenna drop down. Yeah, right at the back here, you see, right where the wire's coming out there. Right here, it has the TN logo. I don't even want to move it because you can almost see that, sometimes you get a little white part where the wire bends, and you don't want to crack it. So it does have the TNN logo. And then it's just simply one directional. You hit. Now this guy will slip because on this painted floor it's very slippery, but let me close the lid here and oh, he's going all over the place here. He's doing the shuffle walk. I don't want to leave these lights on too long. God forbid, I don't want to burn them out. Anyway, that's the walking mechanism. So what it is down here, I guess it's what you'd say they're ratchet feet, right? Advances and his clips. These are a little loose. So between the slick floor and the little loose ratchets there, you're not getting a great traction. But anyway, the toy is pristine, and hopefully you got a little glimpse on how you could tell. And again, the battery box has this beautiful lithography on it of the Saturn and the rocket. And also, by the way, what I really like is when they have the battery paper in here and it tells you which direction to put the batteries in, because believe it or not, sometimes there's no indication whatsoever. Anyway, so this was a pleasant find that I was able to get, pay reproduction price for an original boxed toy. So that was a pleasant surprise. Anyway, with that, thanks as always for watching. Let me know what you think. If you have any other questions on boxes, feel free to ask, and appreciate your time as always. And don't forget, thumb up the video, subscribe. With that, I'll talk to you later.